Hey there everyone, my name is Kbot. I've been involved with the competitive Splatoon scene since before the first game's release. My tournament organizing resume starts with the original Inkstorm trilogy, goes into the ESBL, and now consists of primarily the Squidboard Splat series. Basically, that just means that I've been with this game over its many ups and downs. Granted, I've never been a competitive player, as I've never once entered a tournament, and I've never felt good enough to do so, but I've stuck with this game and been one of the loudest advocates for the community from the very get-go. And I've got to say, recently I've been probably the most stressed about this community than ever before. Now, granted, I really don't have other things to worry about right now, like college, it is my summer right at the moment, but it's a weird position to be in. Sure, I've been stressed about my own tournaments before, but I've never been this concerned or worried about the community as a whole and the direction that it's going. It's gotten to the point where this morning I was even considering just trying to take a step back or a break from organizing tournaments and from the community in general. But I have to ask myself, why am I starting to feel this way? What is the status of the community right now that's causing me to think that way? And I think I've come up with a couple of reasons. Now, they're all kind of slightly interconnected. And some of this is just me spitballing at the moment, so I might be stuttering. I have a script written, but I'm probably not going to read from it the whole time. Anyway, so for one thing, it's no secret that larger organizations who are trying to support this community have come under fire in a couple of instances quite recently. You probably shouldn't need me to tell you that. The quote-unquote old guard, as far as large tournament organizations is concerned, gets around this community a lot more than you all might think. People like me and people who are in an even better position than me at the moment, or a more impactful position, I should say, really do actively look at Twitter, actively look at the things that are said about them. The worst part about the status of things right now as a whole is that now some of the people, myself to an extent, and other people that you might know, these larger organizations don't feel comfortable running their own events because they're not getting the support and the recognition for what they're doing, and instead it's just coming back to bite them. So, if you appreciate the work that organizations are doing, let them know. Even a positive word of encouragement in the feedback channel can go a long way, especially coming from multiple different people. Often, the negative gets overshadowed with the positive in human minds. I felt this as well. Along with that, if you see a tournament doing well and you want to know how to further support that tournament, share it within your friend circles. Put it on Twitter, put it in Discord, share it with your team, whatever the case may be. Don't hesitate to tweet something out or further promote things. And when you do provide negative feedback, please give constructive criticism. Don't go on Twitter and be like, "This tournament series was so bad, LOL, never gonna play again." Instead, go to Discord and type out a constructive overall message for how you're feeling and what the tournament series can do better in order to support you. And this kind of goes hand in hand with, obviously, as I mentioned before, they all kind of work together, but I've seen all kinds of calls for things to change. And I've seen that over the course of this community for a long time now. But very few people ever take the initiative to step up and move forward. I'm sure you've heard a saying of something along the lines of, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." That applies here too. Don't tell other people to make content. Or don't tell other people and suggest things that they should be doing. Instead, if you have the resources or you can otherwise acquire the resources, go do that yourself. Make the content that you want to see, because I'm quite sure that there are other people who want to see that too. Also, try expanding how you're viewing the community. Try expanding and pushing things further on other platforms. But then this is one of the things that I kind of fear the most right now about this community. This conversation about content happens like every 6 months or every year or whatever the case is. There's a large conversation and a large influx of people going to one thing and saying, yes, this needs to happen. But then no one is willing, or very few people rather, outside of the people, who are already doing this sort of thing, very few people go ahead and take that to heart and make content themselves. So, go do that. I've been pushing for more content creation or a more searchable place since we moved to Discord in the first place. Now, I know that we're probably not going to go back to a site like Squidboards anytime soon, but things like Squidboards, or maybe giving Squidboards another try, I'm willing to work with the community here and talk to the proper people at Squidboards proper to try to get something out of Squidboards or out of whatever else that the community wants to see. It's more convenient for all of us to just go to Discord and talk about whatever it is. But at the end of the day, that doesn't help grow the community. It's going to take a little bit of inconvenience to you in order to further grow things, in order to put stuff out there in a more publishable place. So, don't just be lazy about it. Let's go out and get things done. I've tried for the past I don't know how many years to put out new kinds of ideas, new kinds of thoughts, new kinds of ways to get people involved in the community, including IkaFeed, the Twitter service that I run that promotes Splatoon tournaments happening, that gives results tweets or other, competitive Splatoon-oriented news, and also my podcast series, The Weekly Splat, which covered, general Splatoon news from week to week and hopefully offered some insights into the minds of some of the people in this community and the players in this community when it was running. But, there's a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of things that people can do, but I don't see that happen very often. I took initiative and I started tournament organizing when I was just 15 years old. I was mature about it, which is the key there, but I was still only 15 years old. You can do everything. Here's the deal. If there's something that you want to see, as I already mentioned, there probably is someone else that also wants to see that in this community. So go ahead, don't be afraid, push it out. To sum it up, here's what I ask of the community right now. For one, take action yourself to make content or otherwise be a positive force in this community by promoting and helping the people who are taking initiative to head up those kinds of projects. In a lot of cases, things aren't solo efforts. You're allowed to ask for help from other people. You're allowed to collaborate and work with other people to make the best product possible. Thing two, for the love of all things good, please be a decent human being. What I mean by that is don't go out of your way to completely, say that the state of the community is absolutely terrible. Splatoon is a garbage game and it needs X, Y, and Z fixes from the developers. And, the game is dead and we're all going to fall apart here soon. Don't be like that. Don't tell other people that what they're doing is absolutely wrong or that they should completely stop doing it. Instead, give them the pointers and the advice in a calm, professional manner so that they can further improve themselves as a commentator, as a player, as an organizer, as a content creator. And lastly, don't let this conversation die just to reappear in another 6 months. If it dies, I hope that's because the state of what we're discussing in this conversation has changed. Take action. Don't just sit there and tell other people what to do. All right. All of that said, follow IkaFeed. Stay tuned to Squidboards. If you'd like to contact me about something, my messages on Twitter or my direct messages on Twitter and Discord are always open. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see everyone at SNS. Take care and happy splatting.